week, we're back! Again. What's 2025 rad? And what's up 2026? And now your host, Mike and Baglio!
What is up, team? Welcome to K&M Geekly. Just a sneak peek at a quartet of geeks talking about some of the things getting through their week. I'm Mike and Deglio, and I don't look this good, even though you could argue that I don't look great here. But
Prepare for disappointment, folks.
I'd like to welcome everyone back to K&M Geekly. I'm Mike and Deglio. That is Keith Varney. Below me is the man, the myth, the legend, Ronnie Parson.
Woo!
And you might be familiar with the manimal Nick and Deglio. He's joined the pod before. Everybody stretch. It has been a long time since we've had K&M Geekly, and we need it now more than ever. You know, you guys might not know this, but life is hard, and the world in many ways sucks right now. So I would like to reintroduce the ability for us, at least here, and maybe you out there in the viewing public, to enjoy stuff, movies, video games. I think it's okay to have fun and to do your thing. And so we're going to talk about all those things on a weekly basis, things we're enjoying. We're going to try to keep it positive, unless something sucks, in which case I think we need the space to say it sucks. Speaking of sucks, our audio is going to suck until we figure out how to make it better. Keith and I have been podcasting with one another for ever, I think, basically.
It feels like forever for probably both us and the audience.
Yeah, for a very long time. And so we wanted to invite some other voices to the show. Now, we have a separate text thread with the four of us, and it's about time that the world is introduced to that text thread. And
our text thread.
Yeah,
so we're going to reading random parts from it.
No, don't do that!
Everyone panics.
No!
Ron is doing a self-tape right now. All right, so let's go around the horn. You know Keith and I. We are Star Trek podcasters. I can't believe I just said those words out loud, but it's a real thing. We just finished up an entire watch-along of Deep Space Nine. All seasons, every episode, over 1.6 million spoken words. We also did
just that show.
Yes, we did the entire run of David E. Kelly's The Practice. That's also available on your podcast feeds and your YouTube feed. We're jumping in to we're finishing up season 3 of Strange New Worlds, and we're jumping in to Star Trek Voyager. So lots of Trek if you want it on the channel. Those are all playlisted. And let's start with our random third chair sometimes. My brother, Nick and Deglio, who has in many ways shaped my taste of pop culture. We agree, usually. Sometimes we disagree. Nick, let us know about yourself. What's your stuff? How are you a geek? How do you know us? Any intro for the people who don't know who you are?
Yeah, well, I'm the older brother of Michael there, and I'm a huge Keith Varney fan. In fact, be willing to say I'm a super fan. Went to New York City to see Keith's show live.
That's true.
And I've bought and read all his books. So
you're the one?
I think that qualifies me. I am a school principal by day, middle school, so that means I'm insane, and a professional wrestler by night. And a certified geek all around. So since childhood, I've loved superheroes, comics, cartoons, you name it, I'm into it. And I'm glad to be a part of the podcast here. And I'm looking forward to all the stuff we talk about. But this year, last year, 2025, marked my return to the movie theater, where any movie I was even remotely interested in, I went to the theater to see. And now that we're in 2026, I'm hoping that pop culture fun can carry on.
Amazing. We're going to talk more about that. We're going to see if we can't get Keith to return to the movie theater. Ronnie Parson, you know, if anybody out there is thinking, he looks familiar to me, Ron has been on national commercials. He's been in some movies. You might recognize him. He is a professional model and actor. So if we needed to bring a little sexy back,
I mean, look, the model part was obvious.
Yes,
because he's the only one who didn't look worse when we switched from AI to real life.
See, now your audience is going to kill me. That guy's a model? That guy? Thanks, guys. Thanks. I'm set up for failure here. Appreciate the love, guys.
Ron, who are you? What do you love? Welcome to the show. Ron and I have been trying to do a podcast since we were like 6 years old. So
6 years old.
Yeah.
My first best friend. We bonded over Transformers.
That's true.
Crying. Yeah, mom's dropped us off. We both were crying, and I said, "Wait, you like Transformers? I like Transformers," and we've been best friends ever since.
That's
I
true.
mean, I find this to be one of the most heartwarming stories I've ever heard. Your first day at college.
No, is it? We were in
I hate you,
kindergarten.
Keith.
We met the first day of kindergarten, and we both missed our mommies so bad. We were crying
Yeah.
and being disruptive, so they put us outside.
And you never went back in.
That's true. That's true.
Never did. Never did.
In
never
some
did.
ways, true.
Yeah.
Ronnie, my first experience with the Super Nintendo was going over Ronnie's house to play Super Mario World.
Oh, so great. Yes,
Were,
it
were you
was.
the kid who had the first Super Nintendo in the neighborhood?
I might have been one of the first kids to have one. It was great.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ronnie had a Sega CD, and we would go try to see boobies on Night Trap on Sega
Night
CD.
Trap. Yes. Dana Plato. Yes. Rest in peace, Dana Plato. Yes. That was amazing. Those were the days, Mike. Those
Yeah.
were the days.
So what about now, Ron? You're a busy guy. How much pop culture do you get?
Our
Go ahead.
first pop culture reference for this entire show is Dana Plato.
Dana Plato on the Sega CD's Night Trap.
Okay, that's
That'll be a question one day. That'll
deep
be a
cuts,
question.
guys. Deep cuts.
Night Trap. Keith needs to know the context. Here we go. The pod has begun. Night Trap was a Sega CD full motion video game where you were some weirdo who had control of like spy cameras in a house, and you would set up
Yeah.
traps for these guys trying to break in and like oogle Dana Plato, if I recall.
So it was
correctly.
like Home Alone with boobies?
Yeah.
Keith, you never played Night Trap?
No, I've never even heard of it.
Your childhood, man. I'm so sorry, buddy.
Oh, my childhood
Lord.
was a dark and bleak place, but I was also spent most of it trying to find boobies.
Well, you could have saw Dana Plato's boobies on Night Trap, which we never did, Mike. We never did.
No, I
was
don't know.
hard.
Yeah, we didn't like to play. Well, we were both sort of ADHD, so like we didn't our
Absolutely.
attention span wasn't great.
No. Still isn't great either.
So Ron, tell us about your kids and how you've been playing video games and movies lately through that lens.
Yeah. Oh man. So it's like Ari, my youngest. Like she's a big gamer. She's a big geeky person, which is great. Probably back to playing games all the time. Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2. Oh my God, I've never cried so hard, man. And just playing that with your daughter, Joel and Ellie. Oh my God, it's super sad playing with your daughter, man. Like trying to hold back the tears. Because that's how it feels, you know?
And
It
she's
really
like about
does.
that age, right?
Yeah, dude, she's that age, so it's
Yeah.
like even deeper. I got Nintendo Switch 2, and Mike, you warned me about it. I hate you. I got Nintendo Switch 2 just for her so we could play together. It's not the best system.
Well,
We're
it's-
looking for a new game to play.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of rough, man.
well, let's
And-
use that to leverage into the year that was 2025. We'll start there, Ron. I mean, one of the big things in 2025 was look, we get a new system, Switch 2. I know that Ronnie and Nick both are owners of the Switch 2. What has your vibes been? Was it a swing? Was it a miss? I mean, the Switch is one of the largest, probably the largest selling console of all time. Well, to give me your vibes.
Well, I'll say this because I actually waited in line for it. You guys made fun of me. I remember that. Nick, Mike, Keith, you're very nice. You're always nice to me, Keith. I literally waited in the cold for that, and then I had to go back to get it. But it's not worth the money. It's not worth the money. It's a cool system, but it's just like the other ones. You know, I'd rather keep playing the Switch. I swear to God, I would play the Switch. Don't get the Switch too. Keep your Switch. What's the difference?
I think that there's real truth to that because of resolution, right? The iteration like every time we were kids, right? We would go from like from 8-bit to 16-bit, from 320 to 480 to 720p, and so you had these resolution changes, which were incredibly revolutionary. But unfortunately, once you get past the difference between 480 and 720 was enormous. 720 to 1080 was big. 1080 to 4K, only if you're really paying attention. And 4K and up, you have to be like enormous or standing this close to the screen. So these video games, I was playing Red Dead 1 again, and it's obviously there are huge differences in the graphics, but the resolution is still 4K, right? It's not like the resolution isn't going to change as much. So these iterations get smaller and smaller and smaller. Behind the scenes, the processing of these graphics, what you can do real time and that kind of stuff. But once you've reached nearly photorealistic, 15% more is still not really going to take you that much further. So each of these generations are probably not going to have huge visual differences.
Yeah, and there's no real separation like currently in most games, and this goes to the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 5 Pro and things. There are you can play any game on basically any system. There are some differences visually and technically depending on frame rate and things that like really geeky people get into, but as a value proposition, you're not really losing a lot depending on what you have. So Nick, you're the most recent owner of the Switch 2. What was the reason you bought it? And do you feel like your use case has justified that purchase for you?
Well, it was a 50th birthday present from my wife, who wanted to get back to playing some video games too. And the Switch was the original mechanism for us to kind of do that together. So I think what you find in the Nintendo Switch and the Switch 2 is a user interface that is very friendly. Whereas it's very easy for Danielle to turn on the Switch, and the feel of just how to get into games, how to use that menu is much simpler than your PlayStation or your Xbox. So you're able to kind of press a button, and then all of a sudden you launch right into Mario Kart. It just looks and feels like Nintendo, which I think for Danielle was the easier piece. Now, I appreciate high resolution graphics and all of the bells and whistles and gigahertz and all the cool stuff. But at the same time, I can very much get into a game at a lower resolution as well. So I've had the chance to play a couple of the Switch 2 exclusive, whether it was the game that was, they just kind of like upped it, you know, to make it from a Switch game to a Switch 2. For example, Breath of the Wild, the Legend of Zelda game. And I played Madden 26 or 25, whatever the most current iteration of Madden is. So although there are definite graphical differences, the ease of play, you know, how you can just port it pretty much on any TV or pull it off of the port and just play it, you know, on the couch. That's nice. And I'll just give you one use case example. For a week before my birthday, we had just gotten the system. I wanted to hang out with my brother and sister. So I packed up the Switch in maybe 30 seconds or less, went over to Mike's house, Mike plugged it in, and we all played Mario Kart together. You can't do that.
It's a fun party game. No, they're fun party games,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But for the price of the money, why would you not get us just a Switch? You know?
At this time, I agree 100% with Ronnie. There's not enough games to justify owning the system yet. I mean, right now we're exclusively playing Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza. Both excellent games. However, does that justify an entire game system? You know, this early on, I'd say no. There's no Mario. There's no Zelda. From a gaming perspective, depending on what you're into, you don't have a price proposition that's worthwhile.
Is it not backwards compatible?
It is. So far, every game that I've owned on the Switch has been fully compatible, and I spent the hour, you know, downloading the library and you know, learning the new system basically.
There's just not a new version of those. I got you.
Yeah, there are some, like they have you know, done I guess you would call it a port, even though it doesn't really feel like one, where they've taken and you know, increased the resolution, enhanced some of the gameplay on some of the older Switch games. But that's like an extra $8, you know, if you want to do that.
Yeah, you know, I think it's important at the top to state when we talk about movies, games, and things like that, recognize not everybody's in a position that we are. You know, employed to a point where we have discretionary income to have multiple systems or games or whatnot, and that's not kind of the lens we're gonna be focusing on because we are where we are. But I will say that, you know, what's interesting to bring to the table for this pop culture discussion is sort of our age, in that we're not kids. I don't know what's popular with kids. We're working
6'7".
I don't know about that.
Oh God.
We're working. Ronnie I have a little bit more of a pulse, you know, but we are
Mike and I
definitely
have no pulse.
old guys who are just trying to like carve out 20 minutes to like play a little bit, watch a movie or something. So
if you got younger audience people watching us, like, yeah, leave the 40-year-olds alone. Leave the dads alone. I just want to play Fortnite for 20 minutes and not, like, get sniped and killed right away. Like, come on, man. I just want to play with my daughter, and I got these guys who are killing me and making fun of me and mocking me. I don't play all the time anymore, guys. Leave me alone.
Nobody's
over.
That's I think the most fun they're having is killing old dudes like us.
So what you're saying is we need a sandals for video games where it's like
We
old
should.
people only.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, old people only servers.
I don't
Exactly.
even play the sports games anymore. Like I used to play 2K a lot. I had this one like 8. I guess he's 9 or 10. He's like, "You're trash. You're trash." That's all he said the whole entire game. You're trash. You're trash. Like I couldn't take him, man.
So
This is why I do not play online
No, F
unless
that.
I know
Oh,
the
these
person I'm playing.
people are brutal, dude. No, don't do it.
let's just go around. What are some video games you loved, like one or two that took your time in? Everybody's got jobs, Keith.
Not us.
We're good. Keith, what have you played? Have you played anything new this year, or what was 2025 like? What was your go-to video game experiencing?
Well, I mean, so my go-to currently at the moment is I'm doing yet another playthrough of Red Dead 1 because they just put out the new, Xbox X enhanced version of Red Dead 1, which honestly was not that different than the previous sort of up resolution version for the regular the new Xbox system. So because that was already sort of 4K, so I didn't notice a huge amount of difference in it. Now that said, it is still for me an immensely satisfying game. I 100%ed it again, but what I'm doing for the first time is I'm playing the Undead Red Dead, which I'd never played before because I didn't realize that it's its own story, it's its own whole thing. So I've really enjoyed like, oh wait, this has its own story, it has its own world building again, and like I'm really enjoying the Undead version now. So there's your review of a game that's 15 something years old now.
Yeah, I agree. In fact, we talked about this briefly. The original Red Dead was probably I think the first real Rockstar game I had ever played. I never could get into GTA 4, and it was the first sort of open world narrative based game that took my breath away. And I just have so many great memories of that. And I think it's why initially I was a little let down by Red Dead 2 because Red Dead 2 is much more sim-ish in the beginning. It's much slower. There's more weight to it. There's more suffering, if you will, in the early going, less arcadey than Red Dead 1 feels. I eventually just like Keith ended up loving that, of course. But going back to Red Dead 1, and I have the PS5 Pro here, so it's a little bit more, I get my locked 60 frames and all of that. And it's just been a joy to go back to. It's incredible how much game design they were able to pack into that game. Keith, anything else other than Red Dead revisiting?
I don't really remember.
You're an Xbox guy, yeah?
I'm an Xbox guy, and so I don't buy the lose. In fact, the Xbox I have is a hand me down from or hand me across from Mikey, so which I very much enjoyed. But yeah, I mean, like for me, the games that I like are the immersive storytelling open world kind of a deal, like the Red Dead, like the the Jedi ones, where I like to go around and be in the world and build these characters. I'm not a magical realism guy. I kind of want to know the rules of the universe and sort of go around and take over territory. So
What about sports? Have you played any sports game in 2025? That was
Oh yeah, no, I because I play NHL and Madden.
And do you do do you update every year?
I update the year behind. See, I subscribe to the EA Access dealie, which gives me all the games for free from the year before, and I'm fine with that. I'm exclusively a franchise mode. So I'll want to go on the Giants and I want to put Phil Simms in, and then because I'm still 12, I put my buddies in, and then we go dominate the league for 25 years, and then the next one comes out.
Nick, 2025 top few games you played that were your jam.
Yeah, 2025 was not a video game year for me. In fact, the only game I can really say that I started and made any dent into was Assassin's Creed Shadows. And my favorite property are the Assassin's Creed games, similar to what Keith described. I understand the world, the lore. It's got me. However, what tends to happen is, and Mike, you've described this before, where you play through an entire game and you put 80 to 120 hours in, and then by the time you've done that, you're coming up on the next refresh, the next cycle, the next game. And I find that when I start that next game, I'm burnt out. And unfortunately, that's what happened to me here. So I played Odyssey, which is one of my favorite games of all time by far. And then went straight into Valhalla and really suffered through a little bit because I was kind of like tanked a little bit. And then we got to Shadows and I couldn't get past the first 20 hours. It just it happened. And just with the kind of year it's been, that was really the only video game time that I had. So really not much in 2025.
Poor Ron. He's fighting tech right now. We'll let him.
We're seeing you. We're watching you fight the tech, which is fun.
I'm not a technical person. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I started playing Shadows as well, but I was tanked from previous. But what I will say is, I also didn't get a lot of video gaming in this year that I would have liked, but I did fall in love with Ghost of Yotei, which is the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, which is one of my obsessions a few years back. It didn't get as much love in the end of year conversation, but it was every bit as powerful a story for me. The gameplay speaks to me. It's beautiful. It takes advantage fully of Dolby Atmos, so the game surrounds me. And so that was kind of the game that spoke to me, took my life away for so long. The other two games I just wanted to mention is one of my sort of hang-ups is that it's when I game, I really want to do it in my basement with my theater and set aside time. And with life and a dog and family and everything, it's hard to find that time. And if you can't carve that time out perfectly, I end up not playing any games. But two that kind of brought me back. One is a game that I've played on my any mobile device I have it's on everything. It's called Ball X Pitt, and it's basically if you haven't heard of it, you're not.
Be careful when you type that in.
Yeah, it's basically, remember that old game like Arkanoid where you just point the ball and you just break bricks. It's like a brick breaker, but combined with Alien Survivor or Vampire Survivor, where you're just it's just an onslaught of enemies and you die all the time and then you upgrade. I can't really explain it other than it's a little bit like crack, and it is incredible and you can play it on everything. And so Ball X Pit kind of got me gaming again. And then lastly, Jen and I, my wife, we don't get to play games together, video games. We play cards all the time. But there was a game released this year, which is a co-op game. And there's some great co-op games we've talked about. There's Split Fiction. There's, what's the other one? The one...
Takes Two?
Yeah, It Takes Two, which is incredible co-op games, force you to play through the campaign via co-op. But this year, there's a game called Lego Voyagers, where you're just two little single Lego pieces, and trying to there's no big story. You just these two Lego pieces that are trying to do some stuff, and you have to solve little puzzles and put little Lego pieces together to cross a bridge. The UI is really easy. There's no dialogue. It's for somebody who never picks up a 3D controller like my wife. It was easy to pick up. We had an amazing time. It's really chill. The vibes are chill, so it's a nice kind of settle kind of game. So for me in 2025, the things that stick out are Lego Voyagers, Ball Pit, and Ghost of Yotei. Ronnie, 2025, summing up video games. Let's do it.
Split Fiction is not for the weak. My God. Because if your partner's not good, ooh. You got me on that, Mike. And, I am not good, as you saw me struggle to get back on here. So Ari is just getting annoyed with me. I'm getting yelled at. She's losing her temper with me. I'm I'm sorry. And I'm shaking playing the game. We finally did beat it. So that game was amazing. I'm going to be honest, guys. I've been trying to find that gem. So we had Spider-Man 2, we had Spider-Man Miles Morales, Spider-Man 2. We had Last of Us Part 1, Last of Us Part 2. I can't find that game. I'm trying to find it. So I'm waiting for 2026. I can't wait for Wolverine. I can't wait for GTA 6. I can't wait for these games because honestly, 2025, there's nothing that was just caught my eye like that. Does that make sense to you?
It sounds like you're looking for a single player narrative. And that's the thing for people like us. I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think we're in the same camp. Because of limited time,
yeah,
it's not like every game where you can, let me, guys, get through the first 15 hours, and then it really opens up.
I don't have time. Yeah, there's no time.
I need to invest in the world, and you need to get me right away. And that's why
Yes.
a lot of those, like Spider-Man is a great example. You kind of started the next part of this conversation, like, are we psyched for anything in 2026? I would say the stuff that's the top of that list are the things Ronnie said, is GTA 6, just because I have to see what $25 billion and 20 years gets you, right? Whatever GTA 6 is, it is going to be the largest selling media property, period, of all time. So what is that? I'm just curious. Whether it's great or not, we'll see, because people will it will make jillions of dollars for years to come. Awesome. I just want to play the campaign. That's all I'm interested in. It will probably also, my prediction, cost $100.
Oh, more than that, dude. More than that.
They're going to
Yeah.
completely reframe the model of what a video game costs with that game.
Probably.
Get ready.
So that'll be interesting. The other things on my list that I highlighted, there's a new Control coming out that I'm psyched about. I don't know if you guys are into Remedy games, but Control's really good. If you haven't played the first Control, Ron, give it a try.
Magical
Oh,
realism,
yeah,
not
Control.
gonna do it.
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, I know what that is. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the only other thing, Wolverine, Marvel's Wolverine, which the Marvel's 2 Spider-Man games are like incredible. Keith, you probably haven't played those. You're not a PlayStation guy.
No, I mean I haven't played Last of Us either because I don't have a PlayStation.
Boy. We have to get you.
What?
We're gonna. You know what it is? I think you might have to find yourself like a used PS5 or PS4 or something.
I'm happy to get a used whatever. I just sit here and wait for people to take pity on me.
I will take pity on you, my friend. Let's get you a PS6. Come on. Wow.
And then lastly, I don't know if you guys have ever played Hitman.
Yeah, that's back now, right, dude?
Well, the creators of Hitman, and I forget the studio's name. Excuse me. I can't remember. But they're releasing a James Bond game, and it's going to be like
Hitman Studios.
Very James Bond meets Hitman. So it's going to be very much puzzle solving, environmental. So I'm really psyched to see how that comes to fruition. I loved the Hitman games. Finally got into them, and so that's really what I'm looking forward to. The thing about video games and talking about a year is that, is anything coming out this year? I don't know. They push. I think a lot of things are going to move out of the way of GTA 6. I think a lot of things are going to get pushed. So video games are tough to talk about, but we will talk about them on as we move into 2026. Is there any game anybody's looking forward to we haven't mentioned?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the new Tomb Raider.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because speaking of exactly the same
Square
formula,
Enix, yeah.
and because I'm old, right? Because I like these old
Crystal
things.
Dynamics, right?
The most recent Tomb Raider trilogy, I love. I've played each of them multiple times all the way through. So I'm excited for this new one. New company, that should be interesting. But you're right, Grand Theft Auto is going to dominate literally everything. A good buddy of mine is in it, who's not a gamer. And so I was trying to explain to him how big the thing he is doing in, and he's like, "Oh, well, I just sort of, months and months and months and months going in and just doing stuff." I'm like, "I don't know, is it a thing? I don't know. People play this?" I'm like, "Dude,
is it a thing?"
Wow.
It's the thing, right?
Yes.
Nick, is there anything else on the list you're pumped about?
Yeah, the only game this year that I'm excited about, aside from GTA 6, it's called Blood of Dawnwalker. The same crew who made the original Witcher 3 kind of started their own little studio, and this will be the product of their efforts. Third person, similar to The Witcher and a lot of the other games we've talked about today. And the conceit is you're a vampire at night and you are a human during the day, so your skill sets are different from day to night, and I believe there's a time limit. So, the playthrough of the game is 30 hours. You have 30 hours to solve the mystery or accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. And the missions you choose advance the clock, essentially. So you have to be careful on what you choose to do, what not to do. It just seems interesting. It seems like a little bit of a different concept and a little bit of a different twist in the open world genre. So I'm looking forward to that.
What's that coming out on?
Everything, from my understanding.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right, so we started with video games, but let's jump into real quick around the horn. I'm gonna make it difficult. All right, and your top 2 TV shows you watched this year. We might have some overlap, but things in 2025 that were your jam, and then we'll move into what we're looking forward to. So let's start. Let's go in the opposite direction here. Ronnie, what was your big stuff in 2025?
Dude, welcome to Derry. Holy cannoli! Like,
Just
wow.
started it. No
Wow.
spoilers. It just
No
started
spoilers. No spoilers. I'll just say this: I always liked it, but I didn't know the lore because you guys always talk about the lore between Stephen King and all his movies. I'm excited now about it. It was everything's great about it. Everything great about Pennywise. It was great. I loved it. And then I was gonna say Dexter Resurrection was great too, man. Like I love Dexter. That was
100%.
a really good one. Yeah, that was really good, man.
Did you have to have watched Dexter's original run to get into the reboot?
I watched the original run, so
Hard to say.
I don't know. What do you think, Keith?
I think if you watch New Blood first, which I know it gets a lot of hate, right?
The
But I
finale
think
was
New Blood
horrible.
is. What's that?
The finale wasn't good, dude.
I didn't hate it. I did not have a problem with it. Like obviously it's
Yeah,
spoiler
I
alert,
liked
it gets
it, yeah.
retconned. But I think New Blood was such a better show than the original Dexter. Like
Oh, it was.
It made it a
Yeah.
classy contemporary show, and Resurrection sort of lives halfway between the two, the original and New Blood. I loved New Blood, so I think if you start with New Blood and then go into Resurrection, I think you're fine. But
I
like
agree.
Dexter's a good, especially the first 8 seasons. It's a good like second screener. Is what I would say about that.
All right, so we got Welcome to Derry, and then we've got Dexter New Blood from Ronnie and TV 2025. Nick, I'm going to go to you. I'm going to let you comment on Welcome to Derry because I know that was a show you watched as well. I've yet to watch it, so I'm still.
Mike, you didn't watch that yet?
I haven't yet. I was waiting for it all to air, and now I have run out of time, but I will try to. And Nick, and then you can add 2 to the list if they're not Ronnie's.
Yeah, so welcome to Derry. I would just quickly say that as an uber Stephen King fan and a huge fan of his Dark Tower multiverse, the first 4 episodes of Welcome to Derry, the first half of the season, I guess you would say, really spoke to me because I felt like they were doing some things that were really, really, really in the metaverse of the Dark Tower. I kind of felt like it lost steam episodes 5 through 7, but they did stick the landing for me, and they did some really creative things at the end of the season that we can't talk about because Keith hasn't seen it yet.
Time out. I don't want to say anything, but you don't think the last 3 episodes were amazing?
No, I don't. I feel like we were on path for something very specific, and I think it went in a different direction. I thought it lost a lot of steam. I like how they chose to do some big scenes that are important in the books and the other movies. However, I felt like it slowed down for me. I felt like you could have jumped from 4 to 7 or 8 and really kind of, landed the plane a little bit differently.
You're huge on the lore. I'm someone that just kind of got into it, so maybe that's what it is. Because
Yeah,
I thought it was like, whoa. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got to say, I think it slowed down when we finally get
Wow.
the clown.
That's when it got
Slowed
to
down
me.
when we
Like,
got the clown.
that's when it got great to me. I'm like, oh my god, and he's such a fantastic actor. Oh my god, he's great.
Yeah,
He's
fully
amazing.
This is
agree
why
on
it's
that.
great. You're not going to agree. It's so fun. Nick,
Yeah.
what are your other 2?
Welcome to Derry was one of the 2.
Okay.
The Pitt, by far, was my favorite television show of the season. And it was, it won a lot at the Golden Globes last night. I love Noah Wyle, but even more than that, I really liked how they filmed the show, how each episode was 1 hour in a season, in a short duration of time. So a lot of people were comparing it or thinking they were going to compare it to ER and some of the other medical dramas, whereas I found it much more riveting in that you knew you were seeing an intense situation that was forcing characters into a real short
It's
time
24
frame.
without the torture.
Yeah, for the most part, absolutely. Even though I felt like there was some torture in there with some of the instances and things that happened through the season. So once again, I love the background of the PTSD that the different characters were dealing with, the themes, everything that went along with it. So far and away, The Pit was my favorite TV of 2025.
Yeah, I have been holding off on it just because I know it's the tempo of it and what it does for you. But hearing all of the love from people, seeing all the love it's getting and accolades, The Pit is on the list. Keith.
Yeah.
Avid television watcher. Outside of sports, what were you loving this 2025?
Yeah, well, I'm like you. I need to wait for the season to be done before I start watching something. I'm not gonna watch it week by week. Come on now. We live in a civilization now, so
Can I ask you guys a quick question on that?
Yeah.
yeah.
How do you avoid spoilers? Because like Instagram, X, everything's on there. How do you avoid it?
I don't have friends. That's really the.
As someone who's
And
tried to avoid spoilers for a television show that aired 20 years ago, that everybody and their mother knows, it takes active work and it takes getting off your phone here and there, bro.
Well, I mean, but the phone that I'm on, yeah, I think my TikTok feed has been curated out of that. I don't do X, and Facebook and Instagram is not really. I don't have nobody's still active on those things, so I don't get a lot of spoilers, and I try to be around it. But that said, as a huge nerd, I'm 2 episodes into Welcome to Derry. Really enjoying it so far. I can see where they've invented a whole bunch of stuff that's not part of the lore, and I can see them referencing lore, which I really enjoyed. Well directed, well acted. That's fun. The thing that I'm also not all the way through yet, but certainly on my top is Pluribus, and which I thought has been really compelling, really well done. It's nice to have a Vince Gilligan property where everything matters, and you get to really pay close attention to that. The other thing I'll say that I don't have to pay close attention to, because I'm somebody I don't know if you can see over here, but I have a bunch of TVs mounted at any given point, because when I'm playing video games, I need to be watching TV. If I'm watching TV, I need to be watching the news. My brain is bad. So I need to have something to watch while I'm playing video games, because otherwise my brain will explode. So a great second screener, and I can't believe I'm going to recommend a freaking network comedy, because that almost guaranteed is nope, not for me. It's stupid. But an enjoyable second screener that will be fine at 30% attention span. Ghosts. I was not expecting that to be as sort of fun as it is. It's fun. It's light. It's not it's not going to change your life or make you think, but it's a delightful little second screener. Ghosts on CBS, I think. I watched the first 4 seasons while playing Red Dead. It was fun.
So that's Ghosts. That's Welcome to Derry, and that is Pluribus, which I'll start with. That is the show that has taken my breath away. I think visually, I think it is incredibly shot, as Vince Gilligan is wont to do. The story from the opening jump is interesting. The fan speculation is fun and not maddening, because it subverts your expectations at just when you think you figured something out and that it's this big secret, they just let you know the next week, and it's not a big mystery, and they deal with it. And what I love about all of his properties is that no one is safe. Nothing is as it seems to be. This show actively starts out with the protagonist being completely unlikable. And the thing that makes it special is that he's one of those creators where he's got it figured out. He knows where it's going. He's got the answers. All shall be revealed. Sit back for the ride. And that is so refreshing, because we've all been in love with shows that don't do it. I'll stick a disappointment out there. I loved the first season of The Last of Us. It's a property that's so important to me. And the second season sucked. And it's just because they don't know where they're going. And even though they want to be different than the game, but anyway, my point is Pluribus is not that show. I'll just stick it in the pantheon of Severance, which is the other show that knows where it's going. It is maddening and a little frustrating because they dole it out so slowly, but same type of vibe. Just if you're into Severance, you will love Pluribus. And the other show, everything that you expect to be great this year was great. The Bear is back and firing on all cylinders. Hacks is a masterclass in
Hacks is great.
In just how to be incredible. Jean Smart is, and Hannah, I forget her last name, is
Einbender.
Is up to the task of standing next to her and performing with her, it's heartfelt and comedic and wonderful. So and what's the other one?
Peacemaker.
Only Murders.
Yeah.
You know,
Peacemaker was great.
all the shows that are great are great. They're still great. But
The
other
Ed
one,
Gein thing was super entertaining.
okay,
I thought it was
Sure.
entertaining.
sure.
Which one? It's Keith? I didn't hear that.
The Ed Gein story.
Wait,
Charlie Cox.
where's the monster mom face? Whatever.
Charlie Hannum. Oh, yeah, I'm a big fan of the actor.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
Jack
like it's
Steller.
hot nonsense,
Yeah.
but it's entertaining hot.
Put
nonsense.
Laurie Metcalf in anything, and it's good.
Mike, I would just add one quick bit about Pluribus, because I found Pluribus much more enjoyable than Severance Season 2. And one of the reasons was simply because knowing Breaking Bad, everything, the X-Files, everything that's come before and come after, through Better Call Saul, even though they know where they're going, and they pretty much always have, especially if you follow the podcast through Breaking Bad, you're still living in the world that we're all living in. And there is right and there is wrong, and you kind of have your feet grounded in those other shows. Whereas what I love about Pluribus is that we're no longer standing on solid ground, and they do a great job in season 1 of there is no good guy and there is no bad guy. It's all shades of gray and what your interpretation of any one situation might be. So the fact that he can get us through an entire season with these different characters and the lens of what's happening, and still not necessarily agree or disagree with any one particular side, I think is pretty damn impressive.
100% agree. The last quick shout out I'll give, and then we'll move forward into 2026. Fallout on Amazon Prime is a video game property, has zero right being as good as it is. It is incredible. It is funny. The action is incredible. The special effects are incredible. It feels like a video game show should be. It's the most video game show. I'm so excited to start season 2, which has begun. They are halfway through season 2 right now.
They're halfway through it?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Season 1 had 8 episodes, so I'm assuming season 2 does as well. And they are through 4 episodes. So
I look forward to starting it when it's all
yes,
done.
me also. I will start next month when it's all done.
You guys are psychotic, man.
Yeah.
I don't understand you people.
So listen, 2026 is weird because obviously the shows we love, we're going to be looking forward to those shows continuing. So it's tough to I don't want to like belabor those points. I have a list of upcoming anticipated TV shows. The only one like of new properties, and to be honest with you, the only one I've heard anything about because of what we do for partial living, Keith, is Star Trek Starfleet Academy, which begins this week, if I'm not mistaken. Am I allowed to watch it?
No.
What are you talking about? Isn't it before?
No, it's after.
Oh, no.
No, man. You're not allowed to watch that. No freaking way.
Well, there you go. There's no new thing on this list that I'm actually excited about. So is there any new shows? Well, the one, and I don't think it's coming, but there is the, we're going to talk about him in the future. I have a suspicion. There is the X-Files reboot by Ryan Coogler that I'm so pumped for because I love everything that guy touches. But I don't know if it's going to make...
You've never seen the X-Files?
I have not. I've watched a smattering. But yeah, I don't know if it's going to make 2026, but that potential gets me excited. So anybody who knows something that's coming in 26, you're pumped for.
TV shows?
TV shows that are not like just season 2 or 3, multiple. Yeah. Movies. Let's do it. 2025. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm not going to put a limit on, but like, let's just go through what were your like experiences that blew your socks off in 2020. It doesn't have to be the best, but like, what were the experiences you remember? Let's go to Nick first.
Far and away, in fact, this is the reason I'm only going to give you one, is because I went back to the theater this year and I saw a ton of movies in the theater. And Mike and I, we saw quite a few of those together, particularly of the horror genre.
Yeah.
From She Came Back or whatever.
Bring Her Back.
To Weapons. Your mileage may vary on all of those, but Sinners to me was the epitome of what a movie experience was supposed to be. You needed to see it on the IMAX. You needed to go in pretty much spoiler free, which was pretty much very possible because it's an original IP. The fact that it was an original IP, the fact that Ryan Coogler retained the rights to it and believed in it so strongly that he forced that into the contract there, to have Michael B. Jordan playing two roles, and to have a movie that's a horror movie spend half of its runtime not being that, and then kind of working its way in. Just I loved everything about it. And I understand where some people's partial critiques lie, but I really struggled finding anything wrong with that movie at all. I thought it was everything.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
movie.
everything a movie experience should be. Was what that movie was. And I don't think it got enough love at the Golden Globes last night, even though it did do really well. But for me, that was, it just clicked on all cylinders. I loved every bit of it. Even the epilogue, which people criticized, I thought was great. So for me, Sinners was definitely the movie of the year.
Keith.
Yeah. I mean, for time, I'll be real quick. Two that I liked, one that I didn't. Two Stephen King adaptations. I thought that Running Man was okay. They did a vastly better version of it than the original, of course. I loved being a little closer to the book by the end. I liked that. It was fine. It was like a B plus. What I really liked was The Long Walk, which was a favorite book of mine for whatever. Both of these were Richard Bachman books, one of Stephen King's pseudonyms. Long Walk I thought was never going to be adapted because it's just too freaking bleak. But they did a really fantastic job. Performances are great. They did not pull any punches with the bleakness other than probably aging up the characters. But I really, really liked it. Great movie. Definitely go see it. The only thing that I was like, why, was The Smashing Machine, which was an adaptation of a documentary that was literally just a shot-by-shot remake of the documentary, to which I ask, why?
Yeah, okay, good. Thank you for the brevity. I completely agree. Biggest disappointment this year is The Smashing Machine. The documentary is good. Nick and I watched it together. The remake is almost like a flex. They're trying to flex and be like, look, we can remake a documentary. But here's the inherent problem. I'm going to give my spiel here. A documentary, there are two schools of thought, but one of the schools of thoughts I like about documentaries is it doesn't have a take. It is presenting the facts and the experiences and letting you, the viewer, experience what is happening. And that is the point of the documentary. It is removed, right? If the bear's going to eat the cheetah, or the cheetah's going to eat the bear cub, the cheetah eats the bear cub. That you cannot intervene. A movie generally has a narrative take. We are trying to take the viewer somewhere, tell them something. There's a why, there's a moral, there's something. When you remove that from a movie and just make a documentary, the question, like Keith says, is why not just watch the documentary? It ends up being The Rock, who gives a fine performance. The Rock, yeah, but he's not as compelling as the regular guy who's in the documentary.
Because you take away the one advantage it has is it's real.
Right.
And so then, like, literally just like word for word, shot for shot remake of most of the documentary with nothing new to add. It doesn't give us new context.
No.
It doesn't give us new character work. It's just like, oh, I saw this already, but one person was not acting and the other person is The Rock trying really hard.
Well, it's almost like a companion piece, because at least the movie you can be like, oh, I guess that guy got some money, right? that's nice. For me, the movies that stick out, I'll skip Sinners, which I believed was the same, is the best theatrical experience I had this year. Followed closely by Superman. And Superman, because, the past few adaptations, we're big Superman fans, DC fans in this family. The past few adaptations, I've had to convince myself I liked it. I've had to do some brain mess to be like, no, that was great. That was good. And when in reality, they weren't really. And this movie felt exactly what I think James Gunn wanted. It felt punk. It felt completely different than I expected. It didn't give two shits whether you thought it was too comic-y or too commercial. It was its own thing. I think it sets up the new Supergirl movie for 2026 in a great,
which I'm excited about.
Yeah, in a really cool way. It sort of sets her up to be some sort of like she
seems super fun.
Yeah, it seems fun. There's a sense of whimsy and fun that has not been in the property for a while, and yet there's a goodness to Superman. And I think in our current world, and I don't even want to say politics, in our pop culture, the idea of it's radical to be a decent person and let that be punk, I think is something we so need, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. It was just like, oh, it's like it's hardcore to like still have morality and care about people.
The other thing, you know,
now.
I loved a lot of the movies getting a lot of, you know, I loved Frankenstein. I loved One Battle After Another. There's some great films out there. Go see them. But one that, you know, I think got crapped on a little bit because Pixar's getting a little meh. Elio, which feels like just another Pixar movie. I really enjoyed. I found the heart in it, and I loved the story and the concept and the animation and the sound design, and it just worked for me.
That bombed, right? That's a big bomb, wasn't it?
Yeah, it did. Because people just want Toy Story 5. People just want what they know. And so I liked that Elliot took a big swing. Ronnie, 2 movies you loved in 2025.
I'll make this fast. Thanks for the invite to Superman 2, guys. I appreciate that. I'm still mad at you guys for that. Anyway.
I saw it in my basement. You're always welcome.
Thank you, Keith. Thank you, Keith. Growing up, I'm a big DC and Marvel guy, but I'm really a DC guy. Like, I read Batman, The Death of Robin. I read Batman. I read Superman. So seeing James Gunn's version of Superman, I felt like a kid again. And Mike, like you said, the world is really at a bad place right now. And for 2 hours, I had hope. And you know, when he's flying, I'm flying. Like, I actually cried in that movie. Like, I teared. I bawled in that movie. I love Superman. It did everything for me. And seeing DC being back, because yes, folks, DC is back. Watch out, Marvel. To me, that was the best movie of the year for me. And like you guys said, Sinners was great too. I didn't see Smash Machine. I didn't see the documentary though, so will I like it then? Because I didn't see the documentary. I'm a big rock fan.
I don't know, Ron.
Yeah. Maybe.
I'm waiting for HBO when it's free. I'm gonna wait, you know. But yeah, I'll say Superman, dude. Superman was great. Loved it.
Yeah. So 2026, let's jump into it. Ronnie, let's start with you. Like, there's a huge list.
There's only one, Michael. There's only one.
What is it, man?
Marvel fans, are we ready for Doomsday? Are we ready? I cried during the X-Men trailer. I cried. I can't wait for this movie to come out. The X-Men, Fantastic Four, the Avenger, Dr. Robert Downey back as Dr. Doom, Spider-Man, Captain America's back. Like, here's the great thing about Marvel. They realized the past phases, they messed up. They lost us. They're going back to what's worked, and I love it. I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it, baby. December 18th, let's go. Only one.
December 18th. That's
December
so far
18th.
away.
I don't care, dude. I got my Doomsday clock ready. I cannot wait. We were seeing that Thursday night. Keith, you're coming up, and we're going Thursday night in IMAX, the big screen.
All right.
Yeah, seriously, man. I'll get tickets soon as they come out. We're getting them.
So that's the number one. I got to be honest. I have not really followed it much. I've kind of fallen out. I haven't watched a lot of TV shows. I've just sort of fallen out in the Marvel. I did like Fantastic Four, I have to say. I really enjoyed that film. I thought it was beautifully shot. I loved their commitment to the aesthetic. But I'm into it, Ron. I'm loving you're loving it. And so I'll be there with you. Keith, let's go to you, buddy. What are we pumped for in 2026? And can we get you out of the basement?
That seems deeply unlikely. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at what's coming out. Honestly, the one that I'm interested in the most is The Odyssey.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Christopher Nolan's new big film, because I trust Christopher Nolan that it's going to be a compelling film. Everything else looks like a reboot of 10,000 other things, and I'm like, I'm perfectly fine for Scream 7. Like, sure, I like Screams, whatever, but like, I'm not like excited about it. It's just going to be another. It's like going to McDonald's, right? It's going to be fine. Mm-hmm. Like and like I have like a sense memory of getting that Big Mac. I enjoy a Big Mac, but I'm not like woohoo. I'm excited about it.
The Odyssey, yeah, that the Christopher Nolan, he does it big. It's going to be an epic. It's going to be long. It's going to be in 70 millimeters. It's going to be a reason to go to the theater and just like shove popcorn in my face. So I'm here for it.
It's going to look great on my 65-inch right there.
For me, right now, the best movies are generally these little indie movies that you're not hearing about until the last minute and before they drop them. But what I'm looking forward to right now, I really loved the 28 Years Later. I loved it. The ending is batshit crazy.
Yeah.
But that said, we're getting the part 2 of that, the Bone Collector,
Bone
this
Temple?
week.
This week, yeah.
So I'm pumped for that. Nick, 2026 movies.
I'm with Keith. Number 1 is The Odyssey. It was my favorite book in English, and I'm in high school. All my favorite classes were my English classes. The Odyssey was up there for sure. So if they can bring that kind of emotion to the story, I think we're going to see a classic. Love all the actors and actresses in that movie. So, and my second big look for 2026 is also Tom Holland, Spider-Man: Brand New
dude.
Day.
Yeah.
And the reason why is simple. One, we're going into a new trilogy where he's been stripped down to nothing, right? So Aunt May's gone, Uncle Ben's gone, and no one knows who he is. He's lost his girlfriend and his best friend. Like, he's at rock bottom, essentially. So we're going to have to see how he still brings hope. And at the same time, we're getting Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk, and we're getting the Punisher for sure. Yep. So you're giving me classic Marvel comics with my favorite characters. So you're giving me the Hulk and Spider-Man. I'm all in. That's all I need. Like, the two of them together is going to be highly entertaining.
Moving forward, we'll be a little more focused on stuff we're talking about. Maybe not.
Seems unlikely.
But one thing I'm looking forward to in 2026 is feeling less bad about carving out this type of time. I just want to allow myself that freedom to escape. And that's what this kind of pop culture and geek culture allows us to do. And so I'm glad to have buddies to talk about it with. Let's do a segment recurring I talked about earlier. Let's do a little weekly rad once I hit this button. I'll start. One of the things that got me into just like the stage in general, which kind of changed the course of my life, was my dad, for some reason, Nick, you can help me remember, took me to a magic show. We went to see a magic show somewhere. It's not, the only things my dad ever took us to was the circus, which we went every year, Ringling Barton, the Bailey brothers and whatever. Pre animal abuse and Hugh Jackman making a movie about it.
I was pre us caring about it. Yes.
And then we went to this magic show, and they needed a dude from the audience, a little kid. So they pulled me up, and the guy pulled some coins from my ear. Did the whole thing. And for some reason, that made me obsessed with magic, and also obsessed with the performance arts, the sort of just whole magic of that. My nephew's birthday is on Friday. And I just received word that they hired a magician. And so I have not been invited to this party, but I am going. And just
figure out how to get tickets.
Just to see, one, I can't wait to see what magician they got, if they hired their mechanic to do some card tricks, or if it's like a legit dude in a bus. I don't know. But I have to see. And I also just want to see, like, what do a bunch of 8-year-olds, how do they respond to a magician in your house, right? Is it awesome? Is it weird? I can't wait. That's my weekly rad. Ronnie, let's go to you, buddy. What's going on this week?
I don't know, dude. I might go see Bone Temple this week. Or I might see Primate. I heard Primate's really, really good. I'm a big horror guy too, guys. I love horror. And they're saying Primate is amazing. So I got to pick which one, dude. Or I might do a 2-for-1 day.
Dude, a good old 2-for-1, that is weekly rad, man. If you can sneak away.
Yeah. But who gets my money, though? Should I do it to Primate or which one? Who deserves it?
Yeah, probably the independent horror feature.
Yeah, definitely
Primate. For sure.
Primate for sure, definitely. Yeah, that's it.
Nick, weekly rad, let's do it.
I'm going to go with Saturday evening, January 17th, Mayfield, PA. High Ground Pro Wrestling will
there
be.
You go.
And we will be live on YouTube and Facebook. We are going to be trying to do a Mike and Deglio special. We'll be using Showtime Shane Black's OBS platform and trying to do a real broadcast. So it will either fail spectacularly or go moderately well, one or the other.
Don't use that headset. I would be my recommendation.
No, it's all the good equipment for sure. Outside of Downingtown Middle School.
All right, Hazleton, PA. If you're anywhere near there, right? Hazleton? No,
Mayfield, PA. Scranton.
PA. Yeah.
Mayfield.
Link below.
Go see some wrestling.
Yeah, family friendly.
Nothing like live wrestling, and very family friendly. Yep.
Will the mammal be appearing?
The Manimal will be appearing, not wrestling. As you know, he just received a cybernetic shoulder from Dr. Evil, so he is still in the recovery phase.
Well, Mr. Manimal. We've given you a new shoulder to create destruction with. Oh.
Can we isolate that? I'm going to use it for a promo.
Keith don't work for free.
Royalties.
Keith, Weekly Rad, baby.
I tell you what, you want to know what my weekly rad is? That is Mike's new weekly rad bumper that he did his damn self, composed it, recorded it, did the video, played the instruments, played again.
Okay.
Every single piece. I appreciate a man who writes his own bumpers.
Learn from the best, baby. Learn from the best. Don't perform
done,
as
sir.
like the best, but learn from the best. Yeah, so listen, folks, thank you so much for joining us for this kind of reboot of How Do I Turn It Off? Yes, this reboot of K&M Geekly. We'll be back in some incarnation in your
How
weekly
do you
feeds.
turn it off, folks? That's what everyone's looking for right now.
But help us out. Give a like. Give a subscribe. If you're not interested in the Star Trek stuff, that's cool. Just follow this stuff. If you are into the Trek, there's so much here for you. Also, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/KNM. That's where we'll do, Ask Me Anythings and some live streams of who knows what. Anything geeky. Mike likes to live stream, and these guys are generally free. So... I've got lots of plans. I'm so excited. Guys, I really can't tell you how pumped I am to finally get this off the ground again. And thank you all for spending a little bit of time with us. If you have questions, comments, ideas, things you want us to talk about, knmgeekly@gmail.com. I'll make sure that I ask the boys and we get the ball rolling. I want to say, life is hard, so don't yuck anyone else's yum. Keep on doing the things you find fun, boys. Get them up. Ronnie? The salute has to happen.
There it is.
Keep on doing the things you find fun, and keep on geeking on.